Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. For the past 8 months, I was busy writing a book, which as you can see has now been published. The book is titled AsciiDoc for Beginners, and it is about a beautiful markup language that permits you to produce professional quality documents with nothing more than a plain text editor and some free and open source software. In this video, I will give you a very quick summary of AsciiDoc, its document creation workflow, and how this book will be useful to anyone who wants to get started on AsciiDoc. So without further ado, let's start. So the book has around 400 pages. It is a large format letter-sized book. It has 160 figures and around 200 examples of AsciiDoc markup. It has been written in a textbook style. It has exercises at the end of most chapters, and you can download sample files from the companion website. So this book is now available as paperback from Amazon, and it is also available as an ebook from Amazon Kindle. So just open your Amazon app and in the search box, type the name of the book. You may also have to type my name, or otherwise you can just use the ISBN number of the book to search for it. And after you have entered the ISBN or the name of the book, just press the search bar and you should see both these editions become available to you on your country's Amazon website, as you can see on the screen. If you are buying in India, you can also buy the paperback edition from Flipkart, and you can also buy the paperback edition from the publisher's ebook store. So before we can actually see the AsciiDoc workflow, one important question is, what exactly is AsciiDoc? So AsciiDoc is what is known as a markup language in computer science. And this markup language is used for writing documents, reports, books, and pretty much anything. So what exactly do we mean by a markup language? So when you are writing your text in a text editor, you punctuate certain pieces of text with certain characters that are defined in the markup language, and they result in some desired formatting. So a collection of all these markup characters constitutes the markup language. Human readable means that nothing is jumbled up, and when you open the file, you can read everything easily. So if you have ever used software like Obsidian or GitHub, you would have come across a term called as Markdown. That's a very similar kind of idea, only that AsciiDoc is extensive and it can do much more. AsciiDoc is also free and open source, so you don't have to pay any money to use it. So another question that comes to mind is, what does AsciiDoc actually do? And the answer is very simple. It helps you create aesthetic, professional quality documents, and I'm going to show this to you shortly. So let's now quickly see a typical AsciiDoc document creation workflow, and I'm going to compare this to a traditional word processing document creation workflow. So in the conventional document creation workflow, whenever you want to create a document, you just open your favorite word processor and then you start typing in content, and you are also styling that content as you type along. So in this workflow, you type the content and you also style the content. So what this means effectively is that you are responsible not only for writing, but you are also responsible for presentation. That is how your document is going to look when it is finished. The typical AsciiDoc document creation workflow is quite different. You don't need any special software. You just open your text editor. In this particular case, you are seeing Notepad. You start typing in your content in your text editor and keep inserting AsciiDoc markup elements or tags wherever you desire a specific type of formatting. I'm going to show this shortly. So in this document creation workflow, you type the content, but the software will style this content for you. So in other words, you are responsible only for writing, and the presentation part is handled by the software, and this software is called as AsciiDoctor. Now, how is this workflow advantageous over the conventional document creation workflow? Well, for starters, your favorite word processor might not be free, and you might have to spend money either to buy it or to renew its license every year. Also, your favorite word processing software may not be available for all operating systems, so there is some element of vendor and operating system lock-in involved with a traditional word processing workflow. For example, hypothetically speaking, if you were to consider moving from Windows to Linux, you may find that Microsoft Word is not natively available in Linux. The third point that I would like to make is that because we are responsible for styling the document, the learning curve for a traditional word processor is pretty steep. And once familiar, you might find it very difficult to leave. So this also contributes to vendor lock-in. In the AsciiDoc workflow, you don't need to pay anything for using the software. AsciiDoctor is completely free. And because we are just using a plain text editor to write our documents, there's no operating system or vendor lock-in, as is the case with the conventional document workflow. And the learning curve is also pretty smooth because you don't need any special knowledge to operate a text editor. And learning AsciiDoc markup is fairly easy. And because your AsciiDoc files are just plain text, you can open and read them without any special software. So there's no vendor or operating system lock-in. And the document quality is absolutely professional grade. So these are some of the advantages of the AsciiDoc document creation workflow. So in summary, what do you need to create an AsciiDoc document? Well, you need two things. The first is you need a text editor, and this is to create the AsciiDoc file. And the second thing is you need a software, in fact two if you want, AsciiDoctor and AsciiDoctor-PDF. And these are very simple installs that I have described in chapter 2 of the book. So with these in place, you are all set to create AsciiDoc documents. Now to create an AsciiDoc document, the first step is you should open your text editor and start typing your content. And wherever you need formatting of text in your document, just simply insert AsciiDoc markup tags. I have described AsciiDoc markup syntax in chapter 4 of the book. And then you save this file as a .adoc file. In this particular case, as you can see, I have saved it as climate.adoc. Then in step 2, you just pass on this file to AsciiDoctor or AsciiDoctor-PDF. As you can see here, I've just opened a command window and passed on these files to AsciiDoctor and AsciiDoctor-PDF. And after processing, you get two files. One is an HTML file and one is a PDF file. They will appear in your folder as you can see on the screen. And then you can share these files with other people. The HTML file you can upload for online reading on your website, and you can also share the PDF file with other people. So this is the AsciiDoc document creation workflow in a nutshell. So let's now see the AsciiDoc document creation workflow in action. Now before we move forward, a small caveat is in order. The following demonstration that I'm just about to show you is not meant to be an actual AsciiDoc tutorial. In this video, my attempt is to provide an overview of how the AsciiDoc document creation process actually works. So in this demo, I am creating a small note on climate change. And as you can see, I have got a file here called as climate.adoc. And this file I have created in Notepad. And I have three figures that I'm going to use inside this particular file. So altogether, there are just 4 files in this folder. So this climate.adoc file is just a plain text file, and I can open this in Notepad. I'm working in Windows, and the same will also be true for Linux. You can open it in any text editor. So I have typed something here about climate change and the climate crisis. I would have loved to type this in front of you, but because of paucity of time, this is not possible. So I'm just taking you through this document. I have some headings here that I would like to format properly. So as you can see, there are also places where I have put in a figure number, which I would like to replace with figures. So this is just a plain, simple text file. There's nothing fancy about it. And the places where I have just put a figure number marker, I'll be replacing with these figures as we work on this particular file. So this file is climate.adoc, and we will be working on this file by adding AsciiDoc markup to format this particular file. So I can keep working on this file and keep adding AsciiDoc markup right here and then saving this particular file. I will, however, not be able to see the changes as I make them here because I don't have any facility of live preview working in this particular mode. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to save this file and then open a terminal and then pass on this file climate.adoc to AsciiDoctor by running this command AsciiDoctor space and then climate.adoc. And when you press enter, this is going to create an HTML file which will appear inside your folder. And then you can open that HTML file to see the final rendered output in your browser. Now, for the purpose of this demonstration, this will be time consuming. So I'm going to show this to you in the setup that I use, that is in VS Code. And you can see that this climate.adoc file is now open in the left pane. And you can see the live preview of the AsciiDoc file in the right pane. And we are working in VS Code. So this is a great advantage here. As you make changes in the left pane, you will be able to see the effect of those changes in the right pane, that is, as the document will be rendered as HTML. So henceforth, I'll keep on adding AsciiDoc markup in the left pane. Currently, it's just a plain text file, and we'll be able to see the change of adding that markup in the right pane. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to style the headings. As you can see, this is the title heading, and you can create a title heading just by preceding that particular title with an equal to sign. The document title is now properly styled and a horizontal line separates it from the body of the text. So we are going to do the same for the next level of heading, and this is introduction. So because the introduction is the next level, we are preceding it with 2 equal to signs, and you can see the styling changes take effect in the preview window on the right. We'll now do the same for the next heading. So as this heading is under introduction, we are going to precede it with 3 equal to signs, as you can see, and the effect of the markup is instant. As you can see, the heading is now properly styled. We have so far styled hierarchically 3 levels of headings, and we can continue doing the same for others. So I'm putting the next level of heading under the previous one by prefixing 4 equal to signs, and you can see that this has also been done. So I'm going to insert AsciiDoc markup for all the remaining headings in this particular file, and I'm going to do this at warp speed. So as you can see, all the headings and subheadings have been nicely styled. And once we have these styled headings, we can introduce section numbering very, very easily. So to do that, we just go to the top of the document and then just introduce a blank line and enter an attribute called as sectnums. So it is :sectnums:. And you will notice in the right pane that all these sections have now been numbered. Each section and subsection is now having a number as we scroll down. And we could do this just simply by adding one single attribute at the top of the document, that is sectnum. As we scroll down, we see that there is a quote here in the text by Antonio Guterres. So we can very beautifully format this particular quote. I'm just removing the quotation marks from this block of text. And then all you need to do is to just go to the top of this block of text, which is the quote, and then just simply type in quote inside 2 square brackets. And you can see in the right pane how beautifully this quote has now been formatted. We can still go further and copy the name of the person who's given this quote and his position and bring it inside the square brackets, separate the quote and the name by a comma, and the position of the person already separated by a comma. And you can now see the name and the position of the person appear just under the quote. Super easy to do. Let us now see how easily we can insert figures inside our AsciiDoc documents. To insert an image, just type in image followed by 2 colons and then just simply pick up the image from the list. To give a caption to this image, just go to the top of the word image and type in your caption, and you will see that the caption appears under the image or the figure, and it is automatically numbered, and this is figure 1. Likewise, we can scroll down and insert another figure, in this particular case figure 2. So I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did for figure 1, image colon colon, and then just go ahead and pick up figure number 2, and there it is. And to give this figure a caption, I'm going to come on top of the image keyword and then just simply type in a dot followed by the title of the image. And you will see that the figure is now automatically numbered 2 in sequence. You can directly alter the width and the height of the image just simply by putting in the numbers inside the square brackets. First width and then followed by the height, and you can then see that the image dimensions have changed. I'm removing these numbers for now, and we can scroll down and do the same for the third image, and you can see that the figure has been added with its caption and correct number. We can easily include a TOC. We just scroll up to the header and then just simply enter the attribute TOC, that is colon TOC colon. As you scroll up, you will see the table of contents now visible inside the document. These are clickable. When you click on it, you are directly taken to that particular section. Click on another one, you are taken to that particular section. So introducing a TOC is really very, very easy. All you need to do is to introduce the TOC attribute in the header. So as you can see, things are really very simple when you work with AsciiDoc. As we work through this AsciiDoc document trying to add markup, you might also like to reflect how these operations could be done in your favorite word processor and how easy it is to do these things in AsciiDoc. Many times you need to highlight some block of text like a note or a warning. So you can do that quite easily in AsciiDoc. Just simply type in, for example, note followed by colon. The note must be in capital letters. And you will see in the preview window a nice note appearing here. And we can change these letters note to an icon. So we'll need to go right to the header and then insert an attribute colon icons colon and set the value to font. So once we do that and we scroll down, you will see that the letters note have now been replaced by an icon, and this is looking really nice. So you can do this quite easily in AsciiDoc, and if you want to change the icon, you can change the icon by writing warning, or for that matter, if you want to project this as caution, you can replace the word as caution. The icon keeps changing. You can also, for example, offer it as a tip, so the icon will change once again. So these are called as admonitions in AsciiDoc, and they can really add a lot of value to your document. Now finally, I just want to show you a little bit of code highlighting. So if you had some code in your document, in this particular case I've just pasted a little bit of Python code. AsciiDoc can actually help you really highlight that particular code segment. So all you need to do is to just fence that particular code block inside 4 dashes on the top and 4 dashes at the bottom, defining a block, and then just type source, indicating source code, comma, and the language of the code, in this case Python. So once you are done with this, you can then just go to the header and choose a source highlighter. I'm going to insert that attribute, so colon source highlighter, and then you can just choose one of the available source highlighters. In this case, I've chosen pigments. This source highlighter really understands computer languages and it has to be installed separately. The book mentions how to do this. So once we are done with this document, we need to now generate the output, and we can create an HTML file and also a PDF file. So we just revert back to our folder, which has climate.adoc, right click and click on open in terminal. So we are now having a terminal that is in the same folder as climate.adoc. And we issue the first command to generate an HTML file, AsciiDoctor climate.adoc, and press enter. And just in a few seconds, you will see that a new file has been added. And this is the HTML file that you can upload on a website and people can read your document online. The second command we are issuing here is AsciiDoctor-PDF, and we are handing over this file climate.adoc to AsciiDoctor-PDF, and this will generate a PDF file for us. And now that we have our two final rendered files for us, one PDF and one HTML file, let's open the HTML file and see the output. So AsciiDoctor has produced this very beautifully rendered HTML. You can see the table of contents at the top. We haven't done really much to produce this particular file. This has all been styled by AsciiDoctor. As we scroll down, you will see that we have our quote here, and this has been beautifully presented. All headings have their numbers, section numbers are there. As we come down, you will see the figure, and the figure has been properly numbered. This is figure number 1, and it's looking really beautiful, polished and professional. So when we scroll down, we come across our next figure. Everything seems to be in place. The figure is correctly numbered and it has a caption as we expect it to. And then we have this code. So this code block is very, very nicely highlighted, and Pigments has understood the Python language and highlighted the keywords of Python. Then we have this admonition with the I sign, and as we scroll down, you will see that we have figure number 3 and finally the conclusion. So this whole document has been transformed beautifully by AsciiDoctor. We haven't done much to style this at all, except to leave a few AsciiDoc markups in the climate.adoc file that we were typing, and AsciiDoctor has really converted this into a beautiful professional grade document. If we come to the top, you will find that the TOC is right at the top as it should be. The thing is that as we scroll down in this document, the TOC rolls out of view, and we would much rather have it visible all the time. We need to go back and open our climate.adoc file and extend the TOC attribute. So let's do that. Now, all we need to do is to just add the value left in front of TOC. And then, of course, we'll save this file and we'll have to render the HTML and PDF once again, as we have done before. And when we open our re-rendered HTML file, you'll find that the TOC is now in the left pane and it is not affected by scrolling. And this is a really good improvement from our previous version, which had the TOC on the top. Let's now have a look at the PDF file, and let's open this. And as you can see, AsciiDoctor-PDF has created a very nicely polished PDF file as well, which we can share with other people. The TOC is right at the top. We have very bold headings. All headings are numbered. Here is our quote. And as we scroll down, you can see all sections have been properly numbered, and the figure has come out really properly, and the figure number is also correct. As you can see, it has a caption. So a very nicely produced document, and you can also see that the code block has been very nicely rendered in the PDF that you can share. Keywords have been properly understood by Pigments. This is the admonition. This has come out really well, and it's a very professional looking document. It has page numbers automatically inserted. This is the last figure and conclusion. So a beautifully created PDF, and all styling has been done by AsciiDoctor-PDF. So this is the beauty of the AsciiDoc workflow. We are really doing the writing and AsciiDoctor does the formatting for us. This is really a simple and beautiful way of creating documents. And in the chapters of my book, I cover a lot of other syntax that you can go through. I'll now take a minute to quickly summarize the contents of the book. In the initial pages, you will find a section titled How to Use This Book. There is a download link in this section from where you can download sample files. Chapter 1 presents a conceptual overview of the AsciiDoc workflow. I highly recommend that you read this chapter because it lays the foundation for the rest of the book. In Chapter 2, I demonstrate how to install AsciiDoctor on Linux, Mac, and Windows. And I also discuss how to run AsciiDoctor as a containerized application in Docker and Podman. So Chapter 2 is all about installations. While you can create AsciiDoc documents using any plain text editor, I recommend that you set up your writing environment using Visual Studio Code. So in Chapter 3, we discuss how to install Visual Studio Code and set it up such that when you create your AsciiDoc documents, you can see a live preview. In Chapter 4, we discuss basic or core AsciiDoc syntax. So unless and until you have something very special that you want to do, this is all that you need to write everyday documents. So this is one of the most important chapters in the book, and a chapter that you might want to refer to again and again as you keep working with AsciiDoc. And in chapters 5 to 20, we discuss a bunch of other things like using icons in your text, how to highlight code, how to create and import tables, how to create special blocks, how to write equations, how to cite references and create a bibliography, how to generate index for a book, and a number of other interesting topics related to AsciiDoc document creation. So these are the book contents in a nutshell. The book doesn't assume any background and it should be easy to read for everyone. So the 20 chapters in this book will help anyone who is interested to pursue AsciiDoc to install all software and use AsciiDoc with ease. This book is for everyone. It assumes no background. Using AsciiDoc, you can create any kind of document. You can write poetry, you can submit an assignment, you can create a lecture note for your students, you can write an article or even a book. And the best part is that you can focus on writing, creating content rather than being embroiled in learning about the software and trying to work your way through a maze of menus. This book itself is written completely in AsciiDoc. I haven't used any word processor to write this book. You can look at AsciiDoc as a new paradigm of creating documents. It's all about simplicity. All you need is just a plain text editor and you get stunning rendered outputs as HTML, PDF, EPUBs. And above all, it's about freedom. So it's about financial freedom. You don't have to pay any money or license fee. And also data freedom. You can open your files in plain text editors. You're not tied to any software or any operating system. You can create beautiful documents on any device, anywhere, anytime. Many thanks for watching and joining me in this video. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video.